Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to MindShifters Radio with your co-host, the Forgiveness Doctor, Dr. Michael Ryce, and his wife, Jeanie. Michael and Jeanie share with you the wisdom of the ancient Aramaic internal process of forgiveness. They offer tools and support 5 days a week. They will support you in building a solid foundation within yourself to live in pure love. In Aramaic, Rachma. Michael is the author of So Why Is This Happening to Me Again? For more information on Michael and Jeanie, please visit www.whyagain.com. And now your co-host, the Forgiveness Doctor, Dr. Michael and Jeanie Ryce. To the brightness within you, and the truth that is rooted within me.
Hi, and welcome to MindShifters Radio with the Forgiveness Doctor, Dr. Michael Ryce. And our call-in number is 646-200-4169. Press 1, and that puts you in queue to talk to us. We'd love to hear your comments and your questions. And we want to welcome Michael to the show. Hey, Michael.
Thank you, sweetie. Here we are getting ready to get on the road. We've had a very exciting month here at Heartland with intensives and lots of changes, lots of things occurring, and moving forward the project of taking the tools of forgiveness to every mind, heart, and being on planet Earth. That's what we're here to do, and we invite you to support us in that process. I think somebody's got a phone open there. Maybe you could put your phone on mute, whoever's talking in the background. It'd be a little quieter. In any event, our project is that of bringing the ancient Aramaic tool of forgiveness globally, making it available to the world. And to do that, of course, we don't expect to stand in front of 7.5 billion people. But what we are going to be responsible for is handing off the tools to enough people who will use them, that together we will create a critical mass, a shift, a change on planet Earth in the way the game of life is played. And the game we're looking to establish is that of humans functioning as humans, the active presence of love, the actual human life that we were designed to live. Hold a newborn child, you know exactly what human life is. It's what we're designed for, and it's what we're here with this work to support and to create on planet Earth. Letting go of war, healing the dynamic of war, healing the wounds of all of the wars that have happened, be they the interpersonal wars between parents and children, neighbors, co-workers, community members, global community members. Healing those wounds by teaching people and taking personally responsibility for what's going on inside of us, and changing the dynamics of that fear-based mind that keeps us in our fear, our grief, and our pain. If you're not familiar with those tools, go to our website, www.whyagain.org, and on our website, upper left-hand corner, you'll see a link that says Start Here. That'll give you the whole story as to what to do with those tools of forgiveness and how to use them in your life to bring forward a change on planet Earth. So, Jeanie, do we have Dr. Tim with us? Do we have David with us? How goes the...
Actually, Lenore is doing the switchboard today. So, Lenore?
And can you tell me what Dr. Tim's area code is, and David?
It starts with 815, and David's 417.
417. Okay. I've had some technical difficulty this morning. I dropped my phone in the toilet.
Such fun.
Talk about challenges. I don't. Actually, I don't see either of them on right now. Pardon?
Okay, this is Dr. Tim.
Oh, okay. So what area code are you?
815.
815. I do have you on. Okay.
So, Michael, are you still there? Well, I'm not sure if we still have Michael.
Which one's Michael?
Oh, excuse me. I'm here. Welcome, Dr. Tim.
Hello. Happy Friday.
Yeah.
To you, too. Anything exciting happening in your world?
All kinds of wonderful things. People using the tools. I had a call. I tried to get back in and talk when Carrie was on yesterday. Carrie from, is she out in Colorado?
Colorado. Yes.
Carrie Ellis. And she had sent me an email asking me, how do I do my work in psychology now that I know all of this wonderful stuff? And my answer to her was, it's easy because I do this work in my psychology practice. And it is wonderful stuff, and it's very effective. And for everyone I work with who's willing, I teach them the EFT tapping and the breathing and the Reality Management Worksheet and the MindShifters, and we go right for directly at the heart of the dragon every time we can, every time they're willing. And I had mentioned to her that about 10 years ago when my friend Joe Lessard gave me the 4-hour audio CD of your work, and I listened to it, my response to it was, this is just like coming home. This is essentially what I've been trying to teach people in therapy for 28 years, and it had the additional pieces of the Aramaic text.
Lenore, you might want to keep people's microphones off until you get ready to turn them on to talk. I think we're picking up noise, people that don't know they're already on the air or something.
Unless Michael's in a car.
No, actually, I'm on mute, Tim. I'm listening, but I'm here.
Okay. So I was just saying that the work you had the two additional pieces of the ancient Aramaic material and the specific and very powerful tool of the Reality Management Worksheet. So I have the perspective of having been exposed to a doctorate in clinical psychology and many years of postgraduate education, continuing education, and being able to compare that to the specific tool of the Reality Management Worksheet and the breath work. And I think I would be leaving myself open for malpractice now that I know these things if I didn't offer this to my patients. And not everybody wants to use it, but I at least, I feel compelled to offer it as a set of tools that are likely to bring them far longer lasting and deeper results than most anything else I've encountered in my standard therapy training. So I wanted to throw that in from yesterday. And
fabulous. I hear you loud and clear, and I agree.
Yeah, it's hard not to share this with people. There are some people, and even people in my own family, when they hear about what I'm doing and their face gets all scrunched up and they have no desire to hear any more. And so I just, I don't beat them over the head with it, but anybody who's willing to listen and learn and pick up the tools and try it, I will stay up late and drive extra miles and do what it takes to help share it with them. And I just want to say it was wonderful hearing both Michael and Adam yesterday. And if Adam's listening, I had sent him an email through his website as soon as I found out he had a website. And so I hope he got that email. I hope his autoresponder is working or his email system is working. And I'm thoroughly enjoying the whyagain.org site. And I've had a couple people already that are brand new to the work, and I've sent them there, and they were able to get the worksheet right away. So it's doing very well. I did sign up for the forum, and I'm looking for a way to get into the blog. I don't know how that works yet, but I had some difficulty getting signed up, but then I finally got signed up so I could reply to Jeanie's question about how is everyone doing who was at the intensive. So if there's something more specific I need to know about getting signed up for the blog or creating my own blog, let me know.
Well, Jeanie, maybe you could respond to that. I don't have any awareness of any of that or any involvement at this stage.
I haven't played with it for quite a while, but since I was down in Florida with Danielle and Susan. But I do know you also have to register on the blog as well, and then it just lets anybody write in it that wants to. I have not, other than writing that first thing in the forum, I've not been back out there either. That was just to kind of get them started. So I will see if Danielle can offer us a little more detailed information on that, or as I get to play with it a little more now that things are kind of settling down, hopefully I'll get back out to the website and start working on it again. But thank you for doing that, and I did get an email saying you had signed up, so that part of the system is working.
All right.
Cool. We're learning. It's a whole new game now, so we're learning the process as you are.
Well, I'm looking forward to playing with it more and being able to have a blog there and maybe transfer my blog over and see what we can do to generate some more traffic to the website.
That would be fabulous and awesome. So anything else to share? Anything else? Anyone, other callers there, Lenore?
Yes.
Or anything happening in the chat room to be aware of?
We do have a caller, area code 517.
Well, hello there. Yes, I'm here. It's Rex.
Hey, welcome, Rex. I'm actually just sitting here writing a letter, actually doing some editing and writing a letter to your bride. So I'll probably be sending that off in the next hour or so, shortly after the show is over. I was working on it before the show, before we get on the road. So
we're all on the same page.
Be aware that'll be on its way.
Yeah, we're all on the same page on that because we were discussing that this morning, actually, before Mitzi left and before I left. So just tuning in, just that resonant energy just flowing around. All you got to do is be attentive and stay present and love how that information just gets moved. It doesn't even have to do through the wires. At some point, I'm sure, we will be able to just communicate without all these artificial intelligence devices we use. Meaning phones and, laptops and everything else. Well, that would be something that could happen in the future. At any rate, I wanted to share, I finally had some time to review all of the shows that I had missed over the last week since the conference, and I find and have found so much pleasure and joy was triggered in me, and it still is, listening to all of the people, Adam and his wonderful shifts and changes and his work and what he's doing and how he handled the accident. I just wanted to say, Adam, attaboy, great job, just cool stuff to see how much we can really change when we apply ourselves to the work. And then listening to Julie from, I think she might be from Oregon or something like that, and listening to Julie and the changes she made, I wanted to make a comment to her directly in that, it can be unnerving thinking there's so much information. And what I would suggest is, just like what you suggested to me as far as teaching the workshop and getting started with it, sometimes it's helpful to just get a group together and show the DVD. And then just discuss it and, interject as you're going through it and help people with the process that way. That's how I started 25 years ago, and then gradually work into it. And another way of doing it is just watch the DVD, take notes, highlight the main points, and then basically just get out there and invite some people to a free workshop and just start doing it. I mean, it's amazing how it'll flow. Julie has been around the material enough. She's doing it, so she knows it inside. It's the getting past that anxiety or fear that somebody might think this or somebody might think that, or I might do this or I might do that. So I wanted to mention that to Julie in support. Just do it. Nike had a great idea. In addition to that, I wanted to acknowledge, and I loved hearing Michael, and his sharing, and just I mean, honestly, what I wrote is my note to make sure that I knew what I wanted to share with the group. Wow. That's it. It's just wow. Listening to Michael and having been with him for the whole time he was there, well, not the first forgiveness part, but the 18 days that we spent together and rooming in the same home, watching him and listening to him share and him having somebody almost driving him off the road, and just the joy. I just feel so much joy and excitement about everyone doing so well. And, I've talked to Mark a couple times. I've had a conversation with Dr. Tim. I just am, and I'm marveling at the beauty of the process, the incredible excitement that it can generate for people in their life and how we can make changes. And I'm just excited all the way around. So I wanted to share that. I think there was someone else. Monica. God bless you, girlfriend. Great job. You're doing fantastic. Just keep up the good work. Honestly, I'm just in awe and appreciation of everything that's happening and how so many people are really going to it and really going after the process of healing. And I just want to lend all, embrace everyone in my love, and I love being embraced in everyone's love. And it's just a pleasure. That's pretty much what I wanted to say. Hello?
I ditto everything, Rex. It is really just beyond rational, beyond logical, and beyond exciting to just watch what people do, how they do their work, how they support each other, the genius with which everyone who takes the tools puts them to work in their own way, and I get the benefit of a lot of that genius coming back to me because people share what they did with it, and I learn. And so I get to play with so many folks like yourself that we just keep moving the tools forward. Ultimately, the commitment is every mind, heart, and being on the planet. We're delighted that you're on the team to do it, and everybody else is part of it.
Well, absolutely, and I also acknowledge Nene for teaching the workshop in Venezuela, and I think it was Venezuela, South America, and that's just exciting. When I start hearing, I listened to a call, and then all of a sudden we got somebody teaching the Y workshop in Venezuela. There's going to be one in Spain. There's going to be one in Brazil. There's going to be one. It's going to be all over, and that's the key to really getting the material exposed to as many people as possible, because once it's already starting to happen. I'm feeling it. I see it. And once we all, those of us that really are committed to the work, and I wanted to mention that. The level of commitment that I'm hearing from people is literally off the charts from anything that I've experienced with any population or group that I've been involved with. And I just really appreciate that. And Dr. Tim, you're a wonderful vehicle of inspiration for me, and the level of work that you do, and you've been in your work, in your psychology work for so long. I love what you just said about your work and how this just works, and you offer it to people because you know it works, and if they take advantage of it and do it, fantastic.
Well, it is. It is effective, and as far as I can tell, pretty universal, and so that the fact that they've made this available free on the Internet is just outstanding. So thank you, Michael and Jeanie, for all the work you do to support this and put it out there.
Well, I second that, and I'm going to go ahead and check off. I'm on my way to an appointment, and I'll be able to listen in maybe for some of it, but if I'm not, I'll catch it on the archive. I did want to mention on the new site, because I was browsing it as well, I couldn't find any updated programs for August, only August 1st. I don't know if that's still forthcoming. I had to go to the Blog Talk Radio to get the last week's programs. So I wanted to mention that.
They may not be up yet, but they're being worked on. And by the way, as you're listening to those, maybe you heard or you didn't hear the request, but we had a request that anybody who listens, if there's not a description on the site for that particular show, if you wouldn't mind writing a description, just a few lines. It says, here's what was covered. Then we'll add that. With all that Jeanie and I have on our plate, sometimes keeping up with those details is kind of difficult. And so support the assistance of our audience in reviewing them would be very helpful.
Yesterday, I noticed when I was listening to it, I wasn't sure if you had done that with any of the programs yet. So maybe that hasn't been done for a while, and I can keep that in mind now, and maybe even go back and do some quick reviews on the programs and see if I can do a synopsis. So I didn't know had it been done or not. It's been very busy here in Michigan with a lot of things happening and clients, and I'm preparing for a talk on Sunday, and then I'm doing a workshop on next Saturday. And that's in Grand Rapids. If anybody's interested, tune into my website, and it's a talk at the Coptic Center with John Davis and crew, and it's on transformation. So cool. God bless everyone, and thank you for having an opportunity to be able to share this with everyone, and again, gratitude and extending my beingness of love to everyone. Thank you.
All right, we accept that. Thank you. Much appreciation. So do we have any other callers? Anything happening in the chat room?
We do have another caller, 616. You're on the air.
616. You are on the air. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Where are you calling from?
Michael, this is Bill Costantino calling from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
How are you, young man?
I am doing fabulously well. How are you?
Cool. You might want to check out Rex's website, which is Still Point Breath of Life, and he's got a couple of workshops coming up, so he's right up there in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I plan to do that, as a matter of fact.
Cool.
It's just, we'll connect. So, it's been quite a journey, kind of re-entering society at large after the 17 days there that we had at Heartland. I guess
how's that re-entry been?
It's been amazing. When I was first at the airport and just traveling home, it was literally like looking through a whole new set of glasses in terms of the frustration and the anger level that is generally out there, but also just having a whole new context, a whole new paradigm to be able to see it and interpret it is that, there are issues there that are hidden, suppressed, and this is what's coming forward in terms of a non-being. So before, what would have happened is I would have tended to be a lot more reactive to it. I would have been triggered myself and either felt a need to defend or attack. And, since going through the workshop, I could just see it more clearly and just observe it for what it is, not make a judgment about it, and not be disturbed, upset, or thrown off balance myself. Just see it, recognize it, and acknowledge it for what's from that paradigm. So, very, very useful shift in terms of my own perspective on life, and in an incredibly practical way, right, in terms of, moving in airports, moving in public places, dealing with people.
That's one of the most awesome things to me when you go back, especially and realize this is what was being taught by Yeshua 2,000 years ago, is it just works. It's so practical, it's so workable. It doesn't have anything to do with dogma and all the belief systems. Somebody needs a mute button pushed.
Yep.
But it just simply works. It's quite amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. And just spontaneously. It's not like I have to work at it, think about it, effort to reach some realization. It's that my whole mental model, my whole paradigm has just shifted, and that's the natural new perspective that I have. So it's great to be able to have that, be aware of that difference and have it just spontaneously be there with no effort, which is wonderful. So the other piece, I guess, two other things I just want to touch base about. One is in terms of relationship with my wife, Ellen, who did not attend the workshop, obviously. Has done a lot of her own personal work, but what has happened as a result of the work that I've done in getting deeper, clearer myself, it has shifted the whole sort of dynamics and balance in terms of our relationship, because our relationship, obviously, up to that point was based on whatever level of clarity we had, whatever level of, repressed and dissociated information that we had. So as I came home, more clear, more open, more present, more loving, an opportunity for her to now heal at a deeper level. So, and we've been actively mining deeper stuff to clear out, which on the surface it looks chaotic and troublesome and a problem. But even that, I'm more able to put in a context in terms of that. No, it's just what's true is that we're at a higher level of vitality, a higher level of clarity, and deeper now coming to the surface for clarity. That's how it's working. So even though it's challenging, again, right, to clear that stuff, it really is powerful and is leading to what I had hoped, which was part of my intention in going to the training, was deeper level of present.
Well, and the beauty of it is that where in the past when those things get triggered for most people, it's a downward spiral. Now that you have the tools and the choice, the same thing becomes an upward spiral.
Right. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Once you have the tools and once you have the right the perspective to see it that way, which we do, so it's excellent. So that's one other big change that's happening. The third one that I just want to touch base on is I'm also starting to dig into homework, so to speak, coming out of the intensive, and specifically on the personal code challenges. And I'm wondering if you could talk a little in terms of the relationship between use of will, the will challenge, the stress management challenge. Overlap there, but I just wondered if you could talk further about the difference and the similarities between use of will and stress.
Say it again. Use of will and which? Your phone cut out there for a second. Remind me.
Sorry, yeah. The use of will challenge and the stress management challenge. That's on the personal code sheet.
Right. Well, they're directly related, and the video that you'd want to watch to get that relationship would be Getting the Stress You Need. And will, if it's active, is the spiritual faculty with which we consciously, purposely create stresses that we need, that are useful and helpful, i.e., I set a goal when my wife gives me the look and my stress, my fear comes up, to heal my fear instead of the old unconscious, unmanageable stress of my wife gives me the look, my fear comes up, I use hostility to cover my fear and strike out. That leads to the stress being internalized, continuing with no resolution. So if I don't have the faculty of will developed, I'll tend to continue to build and build and build and build stresses that are useless. It's useless for me to strike out when I'm in pain to try to put an end to my pain, because I might be able to get the behavior out there to stop, but the stress of my pain still goes on inside. So will is the faculty with which if you look at that video, there are 5 different things that will can do, and one of them is to set goals that are on target for your purpose and support you on a daily basis. And then will has another capability, and that is to cancel the goals that are useless stresses that cause stress to build and leave most people in the position of, oh, I'm just overstressed all the time. So those two scores go hand in hand, and as you watch that Getting the Stress You Need and you engage in the Mind Goal Management Sheet, you'll watch your stress scores just plummet.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you. So
I can't resolve a stress that I don't know is there. If I live in this standard world, I live in denial. Somebody gives me a look, my fear comes up. I'm in denial and dissociation of my fear. I have an automatic response, anger. And so now my fear, which is my real stressor, becomes unresolvable, and my anger striking out, while it seems to solve the problem temporarily, leads to some other downward cycle type of process. When I recognize that when I get the look, my fear has come up, I cancel the goal. I engage in forgiveness around what it is that brought my fear up. I resolve my fear. I let go of my hostility. I now have less stress, and I do behaviors that support my relationships rather than destroy my relationships.
Okay. You mentioned a worksheet there, Michael, a stress management worksheet?
Yes. There's if you jump on the website, under Start Here, you'll see a list for the worksheets, and if you look down the list, it's called the Mind Goal Management Sheet. And that's the one we go over in the video, Getting the Stress You Need.
Oh, cool. Okay, excellent.
That was not part. That's part of the Laws of Living, the Getting the Stress You Need. That's all in the Laws of Living material. So,
right. Okay.
That will be what will serve you in that regard.
Good. All right. Excellent. Yeah. So I'm really delighted with the progress and the just how effortless it really is. It really is just a lasting shift that doesn't require effort, strain, and it just allows a much easier, more relaxed, more capable way of living. So, delightful. And thank you both, you and Jeanie, and everyone at the workshop for participating and opening that opportunity. It's just fabulous work.
Absolutely delightful and delighted, and it looks like many. I think we've got 7 people so far from the teachers training who've all agreed to come back and do Laws of Living together next year. So it's a building workshop for Laws of Living. So that might be the one that you select to do next year.
Oh yeah. It's high on the list, no question about it. And Ellen and I are already in discussion about whether she'll be joining me or not. So we may have something fabulous. Yeah, great.
She sounds like a pretty awesome, high-level lady that has a lot of healing skills and tools already under her belt.
Yeah, she is, and it's just an absolute pleasure to be living and working with her on this, on this process. And we're both deep in and using the tools, and they work. It's just that that's simple at one level. You do have to step up to do the work. Not necessarily comfortable, but it is simple. That's for sure. So
not always Dr. Feelgood. So we congratulate you, acknowledge you, in any way we can support you. You know how to reach us.
I do.
5 days a week. We're right here.
All righty. Thanks much. Take care. I'll sign off.
Thanks
for the call. Look forward to hearing others.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, Lenore, what else do we have happening? Anything in the chat room?
No, there's nothing in the chat room right now, and right now we have no one with their hand up asking any questions. So if you have a question, call in to 646-200-4169.
That's it. If you're on one of the stations where we don't have you in our control panel, the calling number again, 646-200-4169. And when you call in, if you have a comment or a question, something you'd like to ask, something you'd like support with, push 1. That will tell Lenore that you want to talk to us. She'll turn on your microphone.
Yeah.
So we'd be delighted to hear your sweet voice. So, Lenore, how goes your process? What's happening in your world?
My world is going very well. It's benefited from my experience at Heartland. my experiences with my daughter are definitely improving, and when my stuff comes up, I do have those tools to use, and it is a lot better. And when at Heartland, one of the experiences that I had was, watching someone else going through their stuff and realizing, when I'm going through my stuff, I'm in it. I just don't get it, So, but now, now I can see it a little better, and I am very appreciative that I took the time for myself, and I did go to Heartland, and that was a wonderful experience.
Yeah, it definitely helps to have awareness of what's going on inside, and being able to view ourselves sort of from the outside and recognize that our internal dynamics belong to us. And that, to me, the insight that whenever there's hostility or fear in my perception, that's just an invitation for me to do another piece of work. That's like my indicator that there's work to be done. In fact, let's hear Dr. Tim explain. I love the way he talks about the internal alarm. And Tim, are you still there? Would you share that example that you used? I think it's so cool. It's a great example. Is Dr. Tim with us? Oh, maybe we lost him.
He's on.
Well, in any event, he maybe had to turn over to a client or something. But anyway, the way Dr. Tim shares it is so cool. His analogies, the way he puts it together is so powerful. But, I have some form of hostility going off inside of me, and that's like a fire alarm going off in my house. Cancel the thought. And if the fire alarm goes off in my house, do I call the fire trucks and ask them to go to the house 4 doors down the street to my neighbor? Well, no. If I have a fire alarm going off, I want the fire truck to come to my house and take care of what's going on inside of my house. Well, most people have this alarm system, internal hostility and fear, and when the alarm goes off, they start talking about everybody else. Look what you did, and it's all somebody else's fault. And that's just like sending the fire truck down the street. Doesn't resolve anything. So recognizing that an internal alarm of any form of hostility or fear inside of you is your call to look inside yourself, not to talk about anybody else, but to shift your perception and look inside yourself and change what's going on inside of you. And the primary tool with which you change what's going on inside of you is called forgiveness, the Reality Management Worksheet. If you're new to that, go to our website, www.whyagain.org. Brand new site, only operating a few days, and maybe some broken links. If you find any, please let us know. Give us feedback. It's just really opening and being developed. But in the upper left-hand corner, you'll see a button that says Start Here. If you click that, you'll see an explanation that says, okay, here's where you start. Here's what you do. And you will be well on the road to understanding the process of forgiveness. And, of course, we live in a culture that tells us a lie about forgiveness. It tells us somebody else did it, like you should be sending the fire trucks to the guy down the road because they're the one with the problem. Well, they're the one with the problem. Why am I the one with the pain? Why am I the one with the alarm going off if they're the one with the problem? Obviously, I'm the one with the alarm going off. I have a problem. Now, they may have a problem too, but their problems are none of my business. Well, I have a problem. So I pay attention inside of me. I apply forgiveness, and forgiveness is a tool with which you remove and delete the content that never belonged inside of you. And as you remove and delete, forgive the content that's based in hostility or fear, you're freed from perceptions based in hostility or fear. Everything changes. Everything in your life becomes totally, completely revised and revamped. And you get to live out of this awesome active space of love rather than function as an hostility and fear-based creature, believing that everybody else is the problem in their lives. And so that's what we're here to support. That's what we're here to help people understand. Our call-in number is 646-200-4169. If you have a question, comment, or a thought for us.
Michael, we do have another caller, area code 352. You're on the air.
Welcome, 352. Where are you calling from?
The Heart Center.
Oh, hey there, young lady. That's Mary Lou.
It is. We're working on dinner tonight. We put stuff in the crock pot, and we're going to have a lentil soup mix that's going to be wonderful because Joanne and I are going to be in the kitchen at ES and cleaning that up, and so we wanted to have our afternoon free to stay focused on that. My question is to tell me a little bit more about power person dynamics. You know, I was sharing with you earlier that I had this experience, and then I found that the fear of talking about it, sharing about it, and talking about it publicly was just worse than the first issue that came up for me. And just acknowledging that it felt like something where I was going to go back and have a conversation with my father, and I just was like freaking out. I didn't want to have another conversation with my father. I didn't want to be talked to. I wanted to have a different experience. And so the shame and the avoidance was really up for me. So I'd love to get your insight about how that dynamic gets instilled and what I can do to really call it what it is.
Well, I would start out with some worksheets around fear of communicating with your dad. And, you know, maybe when we get back, we're going to be gone for a week or so, but maybe we get back and we do a class. Maybe we'll do some role playing, and you can get to talk to your dad. You know, if there's anybody here that in any way, shape, or form resembles the energy of your dad or any of the dynamics you had with him, maybe we can role play that and tap into some deeper levels of what that was about, so that on a cellular level you can forgive, that you can remove those things and return to that awesome creature that you are called love.
Okay. So it's about 2 worksheets on my desire to avoid talking with my dad, and then give myself opportunities to role play that experience and almost reprogram another response.
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
Another good tool that you might work on between now and then would be a mind shifter, and if you've got a pen handy, I'd be happy to give you a mind shifter to work with.
Yes, sir. I have one right now.
It's safe and healing.
Mm-hmm.
And easy for me.
Yes.
To talk with my dad, especially when he's upset.
Okay.
Now, for those who are listening to the show who don't know what a mind shifter is, that's a thought that Mary Lou's going to take, and she's going to take a piece of paper and divide it in 2 and write that on the left-hand side of the page, and then kind of do a brain dump. Use that as a stimulus to let the mind shoot up everything that comes up in response. So we could probably get what that first response was just by the sound that came out of her mouth, which went something like, ooh. So what did that mean? What was the thought that accompanied that sound, Mary Lou?
That was the PS sound.
Say it again?
The PS. That was not my belief system that was showing up.
That's the BS sound. Okay. So the first thing would be BS. That wouldn't be safe at all.
No, it wouldn't be safe at all.
Okay. So that's the first thing to put on the right-hand side of the page.
Yeah.
So now the idea of the mind shifter is we've got that file moving. Now you want to keep writing that and just dump everything in that file and then start looking through, okay, here's where my forgiveness work is. Here's my next piece that I need to remove. I need to remove the piece in me that when I was 3 and my father would rage in my face, took on all this shame and guilt and blame and pain, and now I'm going to start to forgive my shame and fear and guilt and pain, so that I could approach anyone, the biggest, toughest replicate of my father that I could possibly meet, and speak lovingly, gently, respectfully, and live in my own skin as a human being.
Yep. Living in my own skin in the process and breathing through it would just be an accomplishment in that sense.
Yes. So that's what that Mind Shifter will help you to do. So you're right on track.
Right. Yep. Well, my cell phone is about to croak, so I'm going to get off the line and see if I can listen to the rest of the show. Thanks, Michael.
Okay, we appreciate you. Blessings. What fun. What fun. So do we have any other callers? Anything happening in the chat room?
Yes, we have another caller. Area code 607. You are on the air.
Welcome,
Hey,
607. I'm glad you're with us.
It's Richard in Ithaca.
Hey there, Richard in Ithaca. How do you be, sir?
I'm doing well. I apologize when I did been on getting in late, so I just got on the phone and accidentally hit one on the thing. So I really didn't intend to jump on. I was going to listen, but anyway, I'm just. I think I commented the other day on how much healthier I am after being at your intensive, and I just wanted to acknowledge the process and put it out there. It's something anybody should take a chance at doing sometime in their life.
It definitely opens a pretty awesome space, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. So I just wanted to say thank you again for the opportunity, and looking forward to more times together.
Absolutely delighted, sir.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, you too. Blessings. Bye-bye. So, let's see. We're down to about less than 10 minutes. And if you have a thought for us, if you have a question, we would love to hear your sweet voice. We would love to support you in having a deeper understanding. I hope that Mind Shifter tool with the brief explanation made sense for you. It's a very powerful tool. When you recognize that this so-called mind, this database that we have, works by a set of laws, and the law is the law of resonance. Each time you take a mind shifter like that and you write it, it resonates or it fires the hidden parts of the mind. And you can't clean up a part of the mind that you can't look at. So the idea is to get clearly, directly in touch with those things that otherwise the world says, oh, that's not safe to look at. You could never deal with that. That would destroy you if it came up. Oh, that's all just a puff of from ourselves. Only destroy us when we hide them from ourselves. So once you recognize this, what you hide, you stop hiding, you step into safety, you step in with conscious awareness, and you use the tools. And as you do, everything changes in the most amazing way. So do we have any callers?
I see David is on.
Well, hey, David. How are you, sir? Say hello.
Hello. Hi, Lenore. How is everything going with everyone?
Wonderful.
We're rocking. Good show so far.
Yep, I've been listening, and it's great that people are continuously using the tools and that Richard is doing well. That, it's interesting to hear people that have been to an intensive and then left, and very challenging in order to, like with anything in life, to explain the experience of it so that people will be able to be motivated in order to and are inspired to do the work. And Lenore, you certainly have been following up since you've been here, since you did the 9-day intensive, or really the 10-day intensive on the food, fun, and forgiveness. And it's going to be great that you're going to be part of it next year, and possibly that your daughter's going to. And so, to me, when there are commitments that are made like that and agreements that are made, then the energy starts and things start to open up and the possibilities of things emerging. So it's great that everyone's staying connected as they are and doing their work. Good to hear.
Yeah, there's not much more rewarding than that, is there, David? To just watch how people unload the baggage as they come and the changes that they make. And, of course, each person that makes a change gives us an opportunity to make a change. And we get to do our work on a deeper level. So it's an ongoing process. It's a game where nobody has arrived. Everybody's doing their work and moving forward into this human life that we were given, this awesome presence of love that we are. And any time that you happen to doubt that, all you have to do is hold a newborn child. You'll be reminded exactly what you're designed to live as and to move forward in living that life that you were designed to live. And throwing off everything else that does not belong. The throwing off of what does not belong in the ancient Aramaic is called forgiveness. That's why we're here to learn and to teach the process of forgiveness. And blessed to be having the opportunity to work with each and every one of you in bringing this forward to every mind, heart, and being on the planet. And we appreciate every person who jumps on board and becomes part of the process and taking it forward to the world. Jeanie, do you have anything to share at this moment? Any thoughts on your mind? I know you've been doing some awesome deep work the last month, personally, as well as all the things that you do to help to make the website go and make the intensives happen and the food work that you did. Just all of it is pretty powerful and pretty awesome.
All I can say is just to stick with it. It definitely is not always Dr. Feelgood, and there's been times through this process, physically, emotionally, mentally, that it would just be a whole lot easier just to take some kind of drug and not feel it, but then that wouldn't take care of it. So sticking with it and being willing to go through it, and I'm willing.
Well, I join you in that willingness, and I admire you and acknowledge you for the depth of some of the things that you've gotten face and deal with and how you're moving through them. So thanks. I admire you and I cherish you.
Thank you.
So we've got about 6 minutes left. Any callers? Anything in the chat room? Moving the conversation forward about forgiveness. Hello, Lenore.
Yes, I am here. There is nothing going on in the chat room right now, and there is a caller. Area code 541. You're on the air.
Hi there. This is Julie from Ashland, Oregon, and I'm actually at Howard Prairie camping, doing my worksheets. It's been a wonderful day. Can you hear me? It might not be good reception.
No, we can hear you loud and clear. And is there anything exciting you have to report or anything you'd like to, any questions, any way we can support you?
I would like to report that I'm memorizing the commitment to myself, and it's just amazing, you know, what it takes to get it memorized, how deeply if I let the words embed in myself so that it really becomes my own, which is how I memorize music. So I'm going phrase by phrase and grasping the depths of the meaning of those precisely engineered words. And it's a powerful experience, really is. It just as I memorize the words, they're in my brain cells, and I feel that I'm just living by them. So that's miraculous. And food-wise, I've been back a week now, and I'm eating the wrong things again, but not because they taste good or it's habitual, but because they're easy in there. So I haven't changed yet. However, I'd like to say that my body knows that it's not what it wants, what I'm eating, and my digestion has been all really weird because my body's communicating no. So that's great, and I am looking forward to getting proper equipment like a juicer and a food processor and, getting that routine established for myself.
Well, we certainly support you in that, and the sooner you do that, the better, because you can easily re-addict yourself to the old ways of eating. That, sadly, is what a lot of people do.
Yes.
They're addicted, and they simply re-addict themselves. And, and every day that you feed yourself food that isn't food, and, you can do it really simply. I mean, you don't have to do big food prep. You don't have to have a juicer. You can start with, you've got some of the salad dressing recipes. You can start by doing some of the salads that we provided, and you've got some healthy eating options there. And as you take those things and gently move forward, it might be a challenge to go to your cupboard and clean out everything that's filled with sugar and junk and chemicals and such. And, you might find somebody who loves that stuff and give it away, or, if you don't feel comfortable poisoning people with other things like that, then you might want to just put it in the compost and let it go back to the earth and just, make healthier choices. If you don't have the junk in the refrigerator or in the cupboard to start with, and there's less and less, of course, of a tendency to eat it. But I understand. I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Well, it's just a report I'm making, and the fact that I fully recognize the energy difference too. Like it is a lower vibration to make these other choices. And now that I experienced incredible life force during the retreat on every realm, mental, spiritual, and physical, I'm looking at right now how I'm committed to denying my truer commitment, how it is an act of will to say, I know better and I'm choosing the other way. And that is an act, so I can get more conscious about what I devote my energy to.
Right. Well, know that you've got our support. We hold space, and we're down to just about 20 seconds left, so we're going to close out the show and just say we hold the space and hold you in our hearts and appreciate you, and keep sending me those texts on the worksheets, and have the best year yet of your eternal life. Blessings, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to MindShifters Radio with the Forgiveness Doctor, Dr. Michael Ryce, and his wife, Jeanie, who present the internal Aramaic process of forgiveness. Michael and Jeanie are here every Monday through Friday on Earth Angels Radio. For more on Michael and Jeanie, please visit www.whyagain.com. That's www.whyagain.com.